Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, the Summon Bonum, Chapter 8, Lord Krishna shows the universal form, and text 45. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Traya. Oh, sorry. I went ahead. Text 43. Itthaṁ vidita-tattvāyāṁ gopikāyām sa īśvaraḥ vaiṣṇavīṁ vyatanon māyām putra-snehamayīṁ vibhuḥ. Word for word meaning, itthaṁ, in this way, vidita-tattvāyāṁ, when she understood the truth of everything philosophically, gopikāyām, unto Mother Yaśodā, Saha, the Supreme Lord, īśvaraḥ, the Supreme Controller, Vaiṣṇavīṁ, Viṣṇu-māyā, or Yoga-māyā, vyatanot, expanded, māyām, Yoga-māyā, putra-sneha-mayīṁ, very much attached because of material affection for her son, vibhuḥ, the Supreme Lord. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Mother Yaśodā, by the grace of the Lord, could understand the real truth. But then again, the Supreme Master, by the influence of the internal potency, Yoga-māyā, inspired her to become absorbed in intense maternal affection for her son. Everybody please repeat. Mother Yaśodā, by the grace of the Lord, could understand the real truth. But then again, the Supreme Master, by the influence of the internal potency, Yoga-māyā, inspired her to become absorbed in intense maternal affection for her son. Purport. Although Mother Yaśodā understood the whole philosophy of life, at the next moment she was overwhelmed by affection for her son by the influence of Yoga-māyā. Unless she took care of her son Krishna, she thought, how could he be protected? She could not think otherwise, and thus she forgot all her philosophical speculations. This forgetfulness is described by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur as being inspired by the influence of Yoga-māyā. Mohana sadharmyang māyām. Materialistic persons are captivated by Mahamaya, whereas devotees, by the arrangement of the spiritual energy, are captivated by Yoga-māyā. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So one time, One of Srila Prabhupada's disciples told him that, Srila Prabhupada, sometimes I'm in Maya. But Prabhupada says, no, you're always in Maya. Sometimes you are in Krishna. So Yoga-māyā is the internal potency of the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world. And those pure devotees who are lovingly having that transcendental relationships with the Supreme Lord are under the spell of Yoga-māyā. And for those of us who are here in the material world, conditioned souls, we're more or less under the jurisdiction of Mahamaya. Now, Mahamaya is an extension of Yoga-māyā. It's like an electricity. Electricity can be used in the cooler or it can be used in a heater. Same energy, potency of the Supreme Lord. Naham prakasa sarvasya Yoga-māyā samabrita. You will not be able to see the real nature of the Supreme Lord because of Yoga-māyā. Just like Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, he was once asked by one of his disciples, Guru Maharaj, I don't see Vrindavan. It's not described in the Krishna book or the 10th canto, and especially nowadays, seems to be covered up. Yes, there's a lot of animals going in the street. You've seen must be the pigs in action or the monkeys. They're not like as friendly as before. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, yes, there is a thin film. Of course, that is not Yoga-māyā, that is Mahamaya for us. Because the more we want to enjoy the material energy, the more we will be covered by Mahamaya. And the devotees of the Supreme Lord, they're also in Maya. But not Mahamaya, Yoga-māyā. They're covered up in such a way that they're not be able to see Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, the relationship between the devotees and Lord Krishna will not be that sweet. Like the Brajavasis, they don't care whether Krishna is Bhagavan or Paramatma or a demigod. For them, it doesn't matter. If they say, oh, if Krishna is God, I will love him. But they don't care whether he is God. Sometimes the gopas, elderly gopas, they will talk with Nanda Maharaj and they will say, I think he's Narayan. No, forget it. Maybe he's one of those demigods. Forget it. He's a very special person. He's a great personality. But ultimately they will conclude, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as we increase our love for him. Yes, that is our main concern. We just want to increase our love. So, in the Nectar of Devotion, the summary study of Srila Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are 5 main rasas or relationships that one can have with the Supreme Lord. Santa, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. And then there are 7 minor ones. Hasya, or with anger, or with laughter, and so on. So what we are now, in this part of the Srimad Bhagavatam, as we've heard for the last few days, especially yesterday was pure nectar, I may say, the class. It explains about the nature of Mother Yaśodā and Lord Krishna, the relationship. Vatsalyarati. Vatsalyarati means the feelings of those who are in the parental mood of loving relationship with Lord Krishna. Now, her position, Mother Yaśodā, is no lesser than the gopis. Actually, Lord Krishna spent more time with Mother Yaśodā, especially while in the womb of Mother Yaśodā. There was a poll or research done in America. They used to, like Gallup poll, right? So they did the research. What is the greatest word in this world? So they tried to figure out what is the greatest word that one can think of. And they concluded, after thousands of research and answers, Mother is the greatest word in this world. You can only have one mother. You can have many fathers. Am I correct? Of course. And usually, when there is a separation or divorce, mostly the children will go to the mother's side. Sometimes, they can be divided into the father's side or into the mother's side, but mostly mother's side, because they know how to more or less also protect and take care of their children. So yes, Jai, Sisi Gornitai, Guru Parampara ki Jai, Sisi Krishna Balaram, Radhe Shyam, Lalita Visakha Devi ki Jai. So here we are given some indication of the love that covers up Mother Yaśodā to think, because in the beginning of this episode, from this chapter, as the title says, Lord Krishna shows the universal form. One may say, God lies, God steals. How can he be God? God must be truthful. If he is God, then how is it that he is stealing? He has everything. Only in our Vaishnava theology or theosophy or Siddhanta that God can be a son. In other religions, have you heard that God can be your son? Usually it's with īśvaraḥ, awe and reverence, bowing down. But here, Mother Yaśodā, in order to really check the child whether Kanai has eaten dirt, and because the reason for this is that the other friends of Lord Krishna, because they used to play together, Krishna Balaram, and they will have two parties. So now, Balaram is on the other party and Krishna is on the other party. And somehow they got defeated, Balaram and his friends. And therefore, to get back to Lord Krishna, and he has eaten dirt also, and they told Mother Yaśodā. So now Mother Yaśodā, to check, because she doesn't want Krishna to eat dirt and get sick, for protection. These are the feelings of those who are in the parental love. Protection and taking care. So now, Krishna says, okay, if you wish, I can open my mouth and you can check. And when he opened his mouth, Mother Yaśodā saw the universal form. Our universe, not other universe. And at the same time, she saw herself looking at the mouth of Lord Krishna. She saw herself within. And actually, it's not in the mouth that Mother Yaśodā saw this universal form, Vrindavan, and all the residents of Vrindavan, actually, the universal form was located in the belly of Lord Krishna. So she's looking through the mouth and going inside the belly, not inside the mouth. This is according to the acharyas. And therefore, she became bewildered. She became covered up by Yoga-māyā. Now she started to actually, previously here, she was saying that, oh, by the influence of the Supreme Lord's Maya, that I am wrongly thinking that Nanda Maharaj is my husband. She thinks like she is the proprietor. That is the sense of proprietorship. But ultimately, she understood that she is the mother of Lord Krishna. And therefore, it is very significant here. There is a saying in English, love is blind. Have you heard of this? Now, this is the instance or the example that love is blind. Because Mother Yaśoda's love is so overwhelming that Yoga-māyā actually, she is servant of Lord Krishna's pastimes. Krishna may be covered up also sometimes, but ultimately this is the energy of the Supreme Lord, so that to make more flavorful, more sweet, more intense, more captivating, that in this pastime, the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, became subordinate. Lord Krishna became dependent on Mother Yaśodā, which later on we will hear. He's dependent on the milk of Mother Yaśodā in the Damodar Lila, which we will hear more later on in October, Kartik time. How the Supreme Lord, if He is the Almighty, He is the greatest, He is the Supreme, He is the source of everything, become dependent on His devotee? Because of Yoga-māyā. Because this is the relationship. Now in Vatsalya Ras, the feelings of the parents, the topmost is Mother Yaśodā, then Nanda Maharaj. And then there are different personalities. Queen Kunti, she is also in the parental ras, Vatsalya Rati or Vatsalya Ras. Devaki, the elderly gopis, milk maidens who have children also, who have their own sons. They are more attracted to Krishna than their own child. How is that? Usually, the son or the child is the most attractive to the mother or to the father. It doesn't matter how ugly the son or the child is, for the mother or the father, this child is the most beautiful. They will not compare lesser than others. But the gopis, elderly gopis, their desire is to actually feed and take care of Krishna. And this was accomplished in the Brahma Vimohan Lila. When Brahma is so also cannot figure out why is this boy is the talk of the town. How come everyone is talking about him? Because Prajalpa in Vrindavan is also about Krishna. They don't talk about news or what's going on with the whole world. No. They talk about his activities, his pastimes, and while they're doing their household chores, they will make a song, compose a song. Many songs about his pastimes, killing demons, Krishna killing 2 or 3 demons every day. And therefore, In this Brahma Bimohan Lila, Bimoha, that means he became bewildered also, Lord Brahma. Many things have accomplished by Lord Krishna in these pastimes. Krishna wanted to prove to Lord Brahma that you are not the greatest here. You may be the greatest jiva, and I may be a small cowherd boy in human form, ordinary boy in the village of Vrindavan, but actually you're my servant. And Lord Brahma stole those cowherd boys and cow or calves, not yet cows, the calves. And in that pastime, somehow Krishna made some arrangement to fulfill Lord Brahma's wish to test Krishna's supremacy or his greatness. So he made in such a way, arranged in such a way, that the calves, supposed to be while they were eating their tiffin, it was tiffin time, prasadam time, that the calves run away. This is Krishna's arrangement. And then, now the other gopas are worried. Oh no, we better go and see after them. We cannot go home without them. And Lord Krishna says, no, you stay here. You stay here, continue your eating, and I will go myself to look for them. And that was the chance that Lord Brahma, he took advantage of that. Krishna was not there. He took all of those gopas and put them in a cave. He hid them. But then, when he looked back, he was surprised. They were still eating. Actually, he became bewildered. This is not possible. So he went back to his abode. Brahma Loka is trying to, he's scratching his head. This is not possible. So, and then when he came back, yes, he found out that the gopas actually are not there. Now this is like 1 year. That one split of a second or 1 second is like 1 year. And Lord Krishna is the only one who knew what's going on. Even Lord Brahma, he did not actually realize that the same gopas who went back home and the elderly gopis took care of Krishna. He expanded himself as Krishna himself, but the same gopas, exactly, whatever dhotis they're wearing, whatever style of how they tie the dhoti and everything. So, that was the time when also it was fulfilled that they took care, the gopis, the elderly gopis took care of Krishna. That was fulfilled. Now that is Yoga-māyā. Yoga-māyā covering. And it says also, now Lord Brahma was covered by Mahamaya because he's not able to see. Two things are happening here, Mahamaya and Yoga-māyā. For 1 year, actually, the gopas were eating prasad. For 1 year, but for Lord Brahma is only 1 second. And then to prove to Brahma that actually I am the same person, then he changed himself. Lord Brahma had darshan of all these gopas as expansion of Lord Vishnu, form. So it's just amazing how this Mahamaya and Yoga-māyā works. Mahamaya, you take an inch, she gives you a mile. You try to play with Maya because Maya's purpose is to make us more bewildered. Maya's duty is not for us to become Krishna conscious. That's her duty. It's like in the early days, hey Prabhu, you are in Maya. You've heard of this? I'm sure you'll hear some today. If a devotee is concerned about you, he will tell you, Prabhuji, What's going on? You are in Maya. Have you heard that nowadays? But more in the early days. Is that right, Prabhuji? In the early days. So maybe more devotees are becoming under the influence of Yoga-māyā, becoming more closer to Krishna. Because Yoga-māyā keeps you get closer and closer to Krishna, but not understanding Krishna's position, and makes your relationship sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. It becomes more and more intense, more nectar. In Mahamaya, her duty is to put us into illusion and to bind us into the material world. She wanted to make sure that the conditioned souls will not get close to Krishna. And she's a Vaishnavi. She's a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. Shakti, Durga. Durga is an expansion of Radharani. Radharani, she is the Shakti, internal potency of the Supreme Lord. Personified also, it says in Shastra, personified Yoga-māyā is Purnamasi, the grandmother of Lord Krishna. So now, the question is, how we can get out of this Mahamaya. If we really want to, Krishna will provide a way. And that's why there is Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra. To align us. That's the meaning of Guru, heavy. Not heavy means of weight, but heavy means to cut your attachment, material attachment. Guru knows more ourselves than we do. We cannot even see our eyelids. It's right in front of us. But we're in Maya, when we are in Maya, He checked us, He chastised us. And many of Prabhupada's disciples, they're happy to be chastised because this is the love and care of the Guru. If He's not going to chastise us for our mistakes or the wrongdoings that we're doing, then how are we going to make advancement? It's not possible. And Mother Yaśodā, she holds a stick. You've seen Mother Yaśodā. Do you have a picture of that here? Painting? She's binding. That's the result. So, love can be expressed in this way. Chastisement. The parents chastise, scold the children, not out of false ego, but out of love. So if we are going to get corrected, if somebody will tell us, Prabhuji, hey, you have to have your acts together. Oh, really? I didn't do anything. But it's obvious that you are, doing not proper. You should be thankful. Somebody loves you. Especially those senior devotees or your friend. Of course, the friends, sometimes they may slap their faces, back and forth to help each other. So the Brijabasis are like this. They are covered up by Yoga-māyā, but they're so amazing. Amazingly that for them, they don't care for anything else except Lord Krishna. They don't know who Krishna is. But now we're in the process of trying to know Krishna. And anyone who tells you that I know Krishna, he doesn't know Krishna. Okay? And anyone who tells you, I love, well, you can say, I love Krishna, but I already attained love of Godhead. No. No pure devotees accept this. The 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, they're always looking for Krishna. He Radhe Brajade Bike. What's that verse? Govardhan, they're looking in Govardhan, right? They're looking Govardhan. Sometimes they can see Krishna, but they will not even recognize that that is Krishna or Radharani. Love is blind. Otherwise, or even blind, they can see Krishna. Just like the painting in Moor Kutir, the painting of Radha and Krishna dancing in peacock dance with peacock. That was painted by a blind person. How? Krishna doesn't appear. We don't see Krishna with our eyes. We see Krishna right now through our ears. And therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami says, this inconceivable nature of the Supreme Lord, yes, He is God, but He became a son, He becomes subordinate. It's inconceivable. It's very difficult to understand. And that is why Krishna is God. If this is not present in Krishna, then Krishna is not God. Right now, we're finding it difficult to really realize or understand about the Supreme Lord. The Prabhupada says, don't try to understand Krishna. Just try to love Him. Try to increase your love. And that starts from hearing and chanting. Especially Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Hear the transcendental topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His devotees from the Śrīmad Bhagavatam. It's very difficult. Sometimes, Maharaj, I cannot really understand. I'm finding it so difficult to understand Srila Prabhupada's books. But Prabhupada's books, simplest language that he can write for us, but still, because our brain is dull brain, we have to keep hearing again and again. There is a story of a guru. He told his disciple, I have a bucket here, you go to Yamuna, fill it up with water. Yes, Guru Maharaj, whatever you say, I will do. So he went to Yamuna, he put the bucket, filled it up with water, and then he went to see his Guru Maharaj. But he was surprised. There is no water. What happened to the water? Well, because the bucket is full of holes. And Guru Maharaj says, go again. Fill it up. Bring me some water. And the disciple is so obedient. Yes, go. I will go and follow Guru Maharaj's order. So he went to Yamuna. He put the bucket, filled it up, and he knew that there are holes in there. So he knew that no water will be there. So he still followed. And then he brought to his Guru Maharaj. He says, what can I do, Guru Maharaj? There's no water here. There's a lot of holes. Okay, you go again. So third time, he did it. Then Guru Maharaj says, you know the significance of this? Can you see the bucket? The bucket is very clean, isn't it? It's very clean. So, similarly, our process is like this. We have to, again and again and again, it's an austerity to chant. It's very difficult to finish 16 rounds in one sitting or after 10 o'clock in the morning. Oh boy, our mind goes all over the universe. Is that correct or not? It is true. That's why there is Brahma Muhurta hour. We have to take advantage of this. Be in the proper mood, because that's the time we have for Krishna alone. And it's very easy if you chant together. Also, when you study, just like right now, we're trying to discuss these pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So similarly, just like the bucket, our brain needs to be washed. Prabhupada says, our brains needs to be washed because it's full of dirt. Our heart is full of envy, lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion. We have to cleanse it. Prabhupada says our heart is like as black as a coal right now. Or maybe some of you are like pure devotees. You're just not. But we can recognize you based from Srila Prabhupada's books. Right? Every description is there. So, similarly, we have to keep trying and trying and trying again until one day we will be able to develop this loving relationship, uncovered our loving relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and establish our Swarup, eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord. Either is in Santaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras. In paternal love, Vatsalya, Santa, Dasya, and Sakya are included. And in Madhurya Ras, all of these four mellows are included. Have you seen that Matuska? Is that the right word from Russia? You know that dolls. What's the name? Matroiska. Matroiska. In Matroiska, I've been to Russia many, many times. They're one of the best in terms of, actually they have, I don't know. I'm not trying to glorify them, but some of them, they have more culture after coming to Krishna consciousness than we do here in India. Sorry to say, but that is the truth. Prabhuji, you've been there also, in Russia. Surtakirti Prabhu. Now in Matroiska, it's a doll. You only see one, but there is like, you can take out the top, and then there's another doll. It becomes a doll. So a doll within a doll, within a doll, within a doll, and then you'll see this much. But we have to start. Don't imitate the pure devotees of Vrindavan. We have to start first with Dasyaras. We're all servants. They're all servants of the Supreme Lord. Because sometimes, they want to develop some kind of relationship with the Supreme Lord, but they don't have the adhikar. They don't have the qualification to reach that very, very elevated position. Surrender unto the pure representative of the Supreme Lord. This is the first 5 items in the limbs of bhakti, the 64 items in bhakti. 5 is taking shelter, surrender, and take guidance from a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. And we're very fortunate, Srila Prabhupada took all the mercy, the affection. Actually, the Bhakta Vatsala quality of Lord Krishna is the topmost quality of Lord Krishna. He's kind, he's compassionate, he's truthful, unlimited qualities. But Bhakta Vatsala, and Srila Prabhupada also exemplified that. Devotees, disciples, they feel touched because Prabhupada has so much concern and love towards his disciples. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, okay. So we stop here. Any points? Any questions? I thought it was text 45, but they're related, Yoga-māyā and Mahamāyā. I must be in Maya. Any other points? Any questions, my dear devotees? Yes, Mataji? Is there a microphone there, please? The universal form was also revealed to Arjuna, to Duryodhana, Mother Yaśodā, and I believe also Advaita Acharya, but different kinds of universal form.
Yes, thank you so much for this
Very
enlightened.
enlightened.
Yes. For example, when you speak at the end of Vatsalya rasa and the qualities that we should acquire, like kindness and truthfulness
Mm-hmm.
and you said gentleness,
Yeah, compassion.
compassion. So, how to do when when I live, I see that those are part and parcel of Krishna, but I try.
Yes.
And that they respond in function of what I have inside.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have a desire to serve, if they don't want to go or if they don't want to serve, then I serve them.
Is very
I'm a little bit still. Will I do my question again, please?
short. Short question in one sentence.
Yes. When we see them, sometimes I don't want to cooperate in Vatsalya rasa because I have no training. Like
All right.
I don't be a mother if I am trained like a friend or
Right.
like dynamic relation. So how should I behave for that the person feel the mother can listen very nicely, but the person who don't have children, we are a little bit more reactive than a person with
I would suggest, I can understand a little part. Sorry, heavy, very heavy accent. Where are you from? France. Bonjour. Bonjour. The most difficult thing to do is to act the way we should be, to act who we really are, to act that we are actually servants of Krishna. Others, it's easy to pretend or copy somebody else. Do you understand?
yes, very well.
So, if
It's easy to but we should be
right.
ourselves.
So
We should be nice.
we have to understand our real nature. And if you cannot find your real nature, that's why you have to surrender to a guru. The guru should be able to point out your mistakes or shortcomings, and then everything will be fine.
To speak to Guru and to read how to behave the
Yes, approach gurus, plural, means initiating guru and instructing gurus.
So it's a training always for empowering.
Yes, yes. Purification is still the end of our life.
Thank you.
Okay? We should realize it. If we commit mistake, realize our mistakes and not to commit it again. That is for everybody. But if you are in deep Maya, then you will not learn. Even if someone who is more senior and more advanced than you do, pointing this out to you, who are you? I know what I'm doing. Yeah, you know what you're doing because you are in Mahamaya. Actually, you don't know what you're doing, but you said, I know what I'm doing. How many times you say, I know. It's like in India, when they, yes, G, yes. But actually, they don't know. Better to accept, you don't know, I'm fallen, like Sanatana Goswami. When he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, Kiami, they told me I'm a big scholar, I know Sastra, but I don't know who am I. Right? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada K.